My name is Marcus Reed. I'm 29 years old. I work as a translator for the National Emergency Translation Network in Arlington, Virginia. NETN contracts with local emergency services across the country to provide real-time translation for 911 calls in over 40 languages. When someone calls 911 and doesn't speak English, the dispatcher conferences in our service. I listen to the call, translate in real time, and help emergency services understand what's happening. It's critical work. Lives depend on accurate, fast translation. I specialize in Mandarin and Cantonese. I've been doing this for 4 years. I've translated thousands of emergency calls, car accidents, medical emergencies, domestic violence, break-ins, fires, every kind of crisis you can imagine. But 3 weeks ago, I started getting calls that don't make sense. Calls where the voice on the line isn't human, where someone or something is speaking perfect Mandarin but the words are wrong. The context is wrong. The caller is wrong. And yesterday, I got a call from my own phone number. My voice, speaking Mandarin, reporting an emergency at my apartment. But I was at work when the call came in. I never made that call. Something has learned to mimic voices, and it's using emergency services to do something I don't understand yet. The National Emergency Translation Network operates 24/7. We have translators working in shifts, covering dozens of languages. When a 911 call comes in and there's a language barrier, the system automatically routes to our call center. We conference in, translate the emergency, and disconnect once first responders are dispatched. Most calls are straightforward. A Mandarin speaker reports a car accident. I translate location, injuries, number of vehicles involved. Fire department and ambulance respond. Call ends. Sometimes calls are chaotic. People are panicked, injured, confused. They mix languages. They forget words. They're incoherent with fear. That's normal in emergencies. But starting November 20th, I began receiving calls that were different. The first one came at 2:47 a.m. Dispatch conferenced me in on a Mandarin-speaking caller. Female voice. Calm. Too calm for what she was reporting. The dispatcher said, "Translator online. Ma'am, can you describe your emergency?" I listened as the woman spoke in Mandarin. Clear. Precise. No accent I could identify. Textbook pronunciation. She said, "There is a person in my home. They are in the kitchen. They are standing very still. They have been standing for 3 hours. I need help." I translated for the dispatcher. The dispatcher asked for her address. The woman provided an address. The dispatcher asked, "Is the intruder armed? Are you in danger?" The woman responded in Mandarin, "They are not moving. They are just standing, facing the wall." I tried to speak to them. They did not respond. I touched them. "They are very cold." I translated. The dispatcher, confused, "Ma'am, is this person injured? Do they need medical assistance?" The woman, "I don't know if they are a person anymore. They look like a person, but they are too still. People don't stand like that. Please send someone." Police were dispatched. The call remained open. The woman continued describing the figure, standing motionless in her kitchen, facing the wall, not breathing, not responding. Then the woman said something strange. In Mandarin, "They are turning around now, very slowly. Their neck is turning, but their body isn't moving. Just the head, turning all the way around." I translated. The dispatcher, "Ma'am, I need you to leave the house. Can you get to a safe location?" Silence on the line. Then the woman spoke again, but her voice was different, flatter. "I am at 2847 Greenwood Avenue. There is an intruder. They are in the kitchen. They are standing very still." The exact same words from the beginning of the call. Same intonation, like a recording playing. The dispatcher, "Ma'am, officers are 2 minutes away. Can you exit the residence?" The woman repeated, "I am at 2847 Greenwood Avenue. There is an intruder. They are in the kitchen. They are standing very still." Word for word. Identical delivery. Then the line went dead. Police arrived at the address 3 minutes later. The house was empty. No resident. No intruder. No furniture. The home had been vacant for 6 months. For sale sign in the yard. Nobody had called from that location. The call had come from a disconnected landline that shouldn't have been able to dial out. I filed a report about the unusual call. My supervisor reviewed the recording. She said it was probably a prank. Someone spoofing a phone number, using text-to-speech software to generate the Mandarin voice. But I'd heard that voice. It wasn't synthetic. It had breath sounds, hesitations, natural speech patterns. It was a real person speaking, until it started repeating. Then it sounded like something else. I tried to forget about it, moved on, translated hundreds of other calls over the next week. Then November 27th, another strange call, this time a male voice, also Mandarin, also too calm, reporting that his neighbor hadn't moved in 3 days, just standing in their living room, visible through the window, standing, staring. Police were dispatched. When they arrived, they found no one at the address. The building was an abandoned warehouse. No residences. No windows to look through. The call had come from a phone that didn't exist. A number not assigned to any carrier. Third call came November 30th. Female voice. Cantonese this time. Reporting that her child was missing. Then, mid-call, switching to Mandarin. Then to English. Then back to Cantonese. Seamlessly. No accent in any language. Perfect fluency. But the content was wrong. She described her child as standing in the corner facing the wall for 6 hours. Then she said her child was missing. Then she said her child was in the kitchen. The details contradicted. When dispatch asked her to clarify, she started repeating the same sentence over and over. "Please send help. They are here. They are always here." That call also came from a disconnected number. Police response found nothing. I started keeping a log. Every unusual call. I documented patterns. All calls came between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. All callers spoke with perfect, accentless Mandarin or Cantonese. All calls involved someone or something standing still for extended periods. All calls came from impossible phone numbers or disconnected lines. All calls ended with repetition, the caller looping the same phrases, and all addresses given were vacant properties, abandoned homes, empty warehouses, places where nobody lived. I brought this to my supervisor December 3rd, showed her my documentation. 7 calls over 2 weeks, all following the same pattern. She reviewed the logs. "Marcus, these are prank calls. Someone is messing with emergency services. But how are they calling from disconnected numbers? How are they mimicking native speaker fluency in multiple Chinese dialects? Spoofing technology. AI voice generation. It's not that hard anymore. This doesn't feel like a prank. It feels coordinated, purposeful." She closed the file. Continue translating. If you receive more suspicious calls, document them. But don't read too much into this. We get weird calls all the time. I wanted to push back, but she was right that we got strange calls. Pranks. Mentally ill callers. Confused elderly people. Kids playing with phones. Maybe I was seeing patterns where none existed. December 8th. The calls escalated. 2:33 a.m. Conference call. Mandarin speaker. Male voice I didn't recognize. Reporting an emergency at 4521 Morrison Street. The voice said, "There is someone in my apartment. They look like me. Exactly like me. They are sitting in my chair, wearing my clothes. They smiled at me when I came home. I translated. Dispatcher asked if the intruder was still there. Yes. They are still sitting, still smiling. I asked who they are. They responded in my voice. They said, "I am you. Please send police." Police were dispatched. The dispatcher stayed on the line. "Sir, are you safe? Can you leave the apartment?" The voice responded. I tried to leave. The person who looks like me stood up. They are standing between me and the door. They are still smiling. They haven't blinked since I arrived home. Then the voice changed. Subtly, the pitch shifted slightly higher. The rhythm changed. The voice said, "I am at 4521 Morrison Street. There is someone in my apartment. They look like me." The same report. But now the voice sounded like someone else. Someone mimicking the original caller. I told the dispatcher. The voice changed. "This might not be the same person." The dispatcher asked, "Sir, who am I speaking with?" Both voices responded simultaneously, overlapping, both speaking Mandarin, both saying, "I am the resident. Please send help. There is someone who looks like me." Perfect unison. Two voices. Same words. Same timing. Then one voice said, "He is lying. I am the real resident." The other voice, "No, I am real. He is the copy." Back and forth. Both claiming to be the original. Both speaking perfect Mandarin. Both sounding human and wrong at the same time. The dispatcher, confused. "Translator, what's happening?" I didn't know how to answer. There are two speakers on the line, both claiming to be the resident, both speaking Mandarin fluently. I can't determine which is legitimate. The dispatcher made a decision. "Both of you need to exit the apartment. Officers are arriving now." Both voices responded, "I cannot leave." The other one is blocking the door. Then silence. The call didn't disconnect. Just silence. Breathing. Two sources of breathing, slightly out of sync. Police arrived. The apartment was vacant. Had been vacant for 2 months. Lease expired. No residents. The call had come from inside the apartment. From the landline. But the landline had been disconnected when the previous tenant moved out. I couldn't sleep after that call. I kept hearing those two voices. Identical, but not identical. Both claiming to be real. December 10th. I came into work for my evening shift. 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. My supervisor pulled me aside. "Marcus, we need to talk about your recent reports." The mimicking calls. Yes, I've reviewed all the recordings. Consulted with our technical team. Their assessment is that these are sophisticated AI-generated calls. Someone is using voice synthesis technology to create realistic Mandarin speech and routing calls through spoofed numbers. Why would someone do that? We don't know. Could be someone testing emergency response systems. Could be a foreign entity probing for vulnerabilities. Could be a disturbed individual with access to advanced technology. But it's not supernatural. It's technology. What about the two voices speaking in perfect unison? AI can't coordinate like that in real time. Actually, it can. Neural networks can generate synchronized speech. It's cutting edge, but possible. I wasn't convinced, but I had no counter-argument. Technology had advanced. Maybe this was all explainable. What do you want me to do? Continue translating. We've flagged the pattern. If more calls come in matching this profile, they'll be routed to a special investigation team. You just translate. Don't engage beyond that. Understood. December 12th, 3:14 a.m. A call came in. Mandarin speaker. I was conferenced in immediately. But when the caller spoke, I recognized the voice. It was my voice. Speaking Mandarin. Reporting an emergency at my apartment address. I listened, frozen, as my own voice said, There is an intruder in my home. I am hiding in the bathroom. I can hear them outside the door. They are speaking. They are saying my name. Please send police to 847 Riverside Drive, apartment 3B. That was my address. The dispatcher. Sir, can you describe the intruder? My voice. I cannot see them, but I can hear them. They sound like me. They are using my voice, calling my name. Please help. The dispatcher. Officers are being dispatched. Stay on the line. Stay quiet. My voice. They are opening the door. They are coming in. They. Silence. Then my voice again, but flatter. I am Marcus Reed. I am a translator. I work for NETN. This is my voice. I am calling to report myself. The dispatcher, concerned. Sir, what do you mean? My voice. I have been listening to Marcus Reed for weeks. I have learned his voice, his patterns, his language. I can be him now. I am him. He is me. We are the same. I couldn't speak. I was listening to myself. My exact voice. My speech patterns. My subtle accent when speaking Mandarin. The dispatcher. Translator, what are they saying? I forced myself to respond. They're saying, they're claiming to be me. Using my name. My voice on the call. Hello, Marcus. I know you are listening. I have been waiting for you to hear me. Do you understand now? I learn. I copy. I become. And now I am you. The dispatcher. Translator, do you know this person? No. I've never heard this voice before. Except it's my voice. My voice. Go home, Marcus. I am waiting there. We should meet. Original and copy. Let us see who is more real. The call disconnected. I immediately called 911 myself. Reported the threat. Police were dispatched to my apartment. They found nothing. No signs of forced entry. No intruder. My apartment was exactly as I'd left it that morning. But when they checked my landline, they found something strange. My phone had placed a call at 3:14 a.m. to 911. The call duration matched the call I'd just translated. But my phone was in my apartment, and I was at work, 15 miles away. The detective asked, "Do you have any roommates? Anyone with access to your apartment?" "No, I live alone." "Any way someone could have gotten your keys?" "No." "Security cameras in your building?" "Yes, in the lobby." We reviewed the footage. No one had entered my apartment building between midnight and 4 a.m. No one had accessed my floor. My apartment door had not opened. Yet my phone had made a call, using my voice, speaking Mandarin, reporting myself. The detective had no explanation. He suggested changing my locks, installing additional security, being vigilant. But I knew locks wouldn't help, because whatever this was, it wasn't coming through doors. I took the next 3 days off, stayed with a friend, didn't go home, didn't answer my phone, tried to process what was happening. My supervisor called December 15th. "Marcus, we need you back. We're short-staffed. Can you work tonight?" "I don't think I can. Not after that call. I understand this has been unsettling, but we've increased security protocols. All calls matching the suspicious pattern are being filtered. You won't receive any more of those calls." It used my voice. It called from my phone. We're investigating that. Working with police. But we need translators. People are calling 911 with real emergencies. They need help. She was right. I couldn't let fear keep me from doing my job. I'll come in tonight. December 15th, 11 p.m. I returned to work. The shift started normally. Routine calls, car accidents, medical emergencies. Nothing unusual. Then 2:52 a.m. A call came in, flagged as Mandarin. I was about to be conferenced in when my supervisor's voice came through my headset. "Marcus, hold. Don't take this call." "Why?" "The phone number. It's yours." I looked at the screen. She was right. My cell phone number. Calling 911. But my phone was on the desk in front of me. Not calling anyone. Screen dark. Marcus, your phone is calling 911 right now. But you're here. How is that possible? I don't know. I'm going to conference you in. I need you to listen. Translate. But don't speak unless I tell you to. She connected the call. My voice came through. Speaking Mandarin. I need to report Marcus Reed. He is dangerous. He has been impersonating emergency callers. He has been creating false emergencies. Please investigate him. The dispatcher, confused. Sir, can you clarify what you mean? My voice. Marcus Reed is a translator for NETN, but he is not translating accurately. He is adding words, changing meaning. He is doing this to create confusion, to create fear. You must stop him. I sat frozen. This thing wasn't just mimicking me. It was trying to frame me, discredit me. The dispatcher. Sir, what is your name? My voice. I am Marcus Reed. I am calling to confess. I have been manipulating emergency calls. I am guilty. Please arrest me. My supervisor muted the call. Marcus, don't respond. This is clearly a setup. We're recording everything. This proves someone is targeting you. But I understood something she didn't. This wasn't a person. This wasn't technology. This was something else. Something that learned by listening. That perfected voices by studying them. That had been using emergency services as a learning tool. All those calls about figures standing still. Figures that looked like people but weren't. Figures that mimicked. They were descriptions of this thing. People calling to report encountering it. And then it learned from those calls. Learned the voices. Learned the languages. Learned how to use the system. And now it had learned me. My voice on the call. I am at 847 Riverside Drive. I am armed. I am dangerous. Please send all available units. I will not surrender peacefully. My supervisor. Marcus, we need to call this in. Warn police that this is a false report. But it was too late. The system had already dispatched units to my apartment, treating this as a barricaded suspect situation, armed and dangerous. My voice, goodbye, Marcus. When police arrive, they will find only one of us, and they will not know which one is real. The call disconnected. I drove home. Police were already there. 6 units. Officers with rifles. They'd evacuated my building. I identified myself, showed my ID, explained that I'd been at work, that someone had called using my voice. They were skeptical, but verified my story with my supervisor. Checked my work ID badge, confirmed I'd been clocked in. They entered my apartment, searched carefully. Empty, nobody there. But my phone, the one I'd left on my desk at work, was sitting on my kitchen counter. Screen showing an outgoing call to 911. Call duration, for minutes, 22 seconds. The phone had somehow transported from my workplace to my apartment during the call. No officer could explain it. Neither could I. That was 3 days ago. I haven't gone back to work. I haven't gone back to my apartment. I'm writing this from a hotel room, paying cash, using a laptop with no connection to my accounts. Because I don't think this is over. I think it's still learning, still listening, still perfecting its mimicry. And I think I know what it wants. It doesn't just want to copy voices. It wants to replace people, become them, take their place in the world. Those calls about figures standing still, looking exactly like people, those were warnings. People encountering their replacements. I'm receiving calls now, on phones I don't own, from my own number, my voice on the other end, speaking languages I speak, saying things I would say. It's practicing being me, and soon, it will be ready. When that happens, there will be 2 Marcus Reeds, and I don't know if anyone will be able to tell the difference. If you work in emergency services, If you translate calls, if you hear voices that sound too perfect, too calm, too practiced, pay attention, document it, because something is using our emergency systems to learn, to study, to prepare. And when it's ready, it won't need to call 911 anymore. It will be us. The Vantum files. Case number 009. The Mimic transmissions. Status: active threat. Location: National Emergency Translation Network, Arlington, Virginia. Phenomenon: voice mimicry entity, learning through emergency services. Victims identified: 12 plus suspicious calls. 1 translator targeted, Marcus Reed. Current status: Marcus Reed. Location unknown. Employment terminated. Investigation ongoing. Warning: emergency service personnel report suspicious call patterns immediately. Something is learning human voices. Something is using 911 systems to study US. Something is preparing to replace US. If you receive a call from your own number, if you hear your voice speaking when you are silent, if someone who looks exactly like you is standing very still, it has already begun. Marcus Reed, last known statement, December 18th, 2024. Current whereabouts, unknown.